Wopila to all of you in Senate. It's an honor to be here today. Ampeta Day. Greeting to my friends. I am Kathleen Woodenknife, president of the Rosebud Sioux tribe. We are Lakota, meaning friends. And we are one of the 7 council fires of the Ocechishakoi, the Great Sioux Nation. In our behalf, the Creator gave the breath of life to the first woman and the first man at Wind Cave in the Black Hills. And with the breath of life, the freedom to dream and a sacred duty to protect Grandmother Earth. In our way, our children are Wakanija, the Creator's sacred gift. Our children are the future of our people. Native nations treaties with America as part of the fabric of the Constitution. South Dakota was not among the original territory of America in 1776 and became a part of the United States through the Louisiana Purchase Treaty with France and treaties with our native nations. President Jefferson's treaty with Napoleon calls the America to enter treaties with our Indian nations based upon mutual consent. America entered treaties with the Dakota Oyate beginning in 1805, continuing through 1868, where America agreed that Western South Dakota is our permanent home and affirmed East River treaties and reservations. In our treaties, America agreed to assist us with education, healthcare, law enforcement, agriculture, and economic development, and established an ongoing framework for nation-to-nation relations. In Ex parte Crodog in 1883, the Supreme Court held that our treaties promote the highest and best form of government, self-government, for our Sioux Nation and tribes. On March 2nd, 1889, Congress divided the Great Sioux Reservation into 6 separate reservations, including our Rosebud Sioux Reservation. 6 months later, as part of the statehood, the people of South Dakota agreed to never claim Indian lands and to always recognize congressional authority in Indian affairs. So the South Dakota Constitution pledges respect for Indian homelands and treaties. Under the American Constitution, our treaties remain in force among the highest law of the land. Our 1868 treaty says that when we become U.S. citizens, we reserve our treaty rights. So we are dual Sioux Nation and American citizens. America's policy today is Indian self-determination to secure our reservations serve as viable, permanent homes, sustainable, prosperous, and thriving communities. As you know, our Lakota people were subjected to war and massacres as we sought to protect our homes. On December 19, 2025, the President signed the Wounded Knee Massacre Memorial Sacred Sites Act that recognizes the efforts of the Ogallala Sioux and the Cheyenne River Sioux tribes to establish a memorial sacred site for our Lakota people at Wounded Knee. On December 29, 2025, the South Dakota congressional delegation joined the Ogallala, Cheyenne River, Crow Creek, Rosebud, and Standing Rock Sioux tribes to commemorate the Wounded Knee Massacre and honor our relatives who were killed there. The Wounded Knee descendants read the list of those killed. Senator Thune shared his insight that our Lakota people, who simply sought to maintain our families, they had their lives cut short by the killing of 350 of our people. Senator Rounds and Representative Johnson acknowledged Wounded Knee as a massacre and one of America's darkest days. They acknowledged that Wounded Knee Massacre must be remembered and our relatives honored and promote healing. Consultation. In the spirit of reconciliation, we call upon the governor and the state legislature to engage with our Sioux Nation tribes on the basis of government-to-government relations, with open, honest, and respectful dialogue to find mutually beneficial solutions for shared concerns. For our part, the Sioux Nation tribes pledge to work with the state through respective government-to-government relations for the benefit of the Lakota people and all South Dakotans. Our tribal governments have important LEAP and SNAP agreements with the state. We should have quarterly meetings with the governor and the legislature. It's time for us to join hands to work together to a brighter future for all our people and our next 7 generations. Recently, the U.S. Department of Treasury wrapped up consultation on the Tribal General Welfare Exclusion Act, which recognized the right of Indian tribes to craft our own tribal government programs and service to promote the general welfare of the tribe. The new regulations are successful because there was a thorough consultation process with those most impacted by the new rules, the governments and the tribal members. We look forward to seeing the government-to-government consultation with the state of South Dakota. Indian child welfare. Among the Lakota, our children are the first priority. In Brackeen versus Hongland 2023, the Supreme Court upheld the Indian Child Welfare Act and its protection of our Indian children and families. Among the Sioux Nation tribes, we request that the state legislature continue to honor the Indian Child Welfare Act and include its provision for protecting family rights and the best interests of our children in state. Native foster parents should have the same access to funding as non-Indian foster parents. We need an equal chance to preserve our children and families as our future of our Native communities. So the state should enter kinship placement agreements with the tribal governments. On another matter, the president announced a freeze on federal funding for childcare due to fraud in Minnesota. Our Sioux Nation tribal government programs should be exempt from this freeze. We ask your support for our federal child care funding so we can assist our working parents, children, and families. Education. Education is essential for all our children to have an equal opportunity. Naturally, we would like to work with you to assure equal funding for Native American students. We think tribal government access to federal impact aid funds will improve tribal school funding and promote equal opportunity for our Native students. We ask you to support all amendments to the federal law to help our tribal government secure this important student education funding. Naturally, special education funding is critically important as well. We must promote education opportunities for our children with dyslexia or other challenges. And we should work together to educate students about the history and culture of our 7 council fires, because our history and our culture is also an essential aspect of the fabric of South Dakota history. Healthcare. The Rosebud Sioux tribe sued the United States for failure to provide proper health care after one of our women gave birth on a bathroom floor of the waiting room. The federal courts ruled that the 1868 treaty mandates competent physician-led health care, and Rosebud and our other tribes continue to struggle to secure such care. As a result, our Lakota and Dakota people have the lowest life expectancy in America, at 47 for men, 56 for women. In contrast, nationwide, the life expectancy is 77 years among the general public and 65 years among Native Americans throughout America. In short, the Sioux Nation tribes need health education, better nutrition, community wellness, and patient advocacy to traverse the healthcare system. Our Sioux Nation tribes have met with the governor's office and the secretary to study the potential for Indian managed health care. Our Sioux Nation tribes have formed Section 17 Corporation, Pitaya Wichozani, meaning all together for health. Under the Health Care Improvement Act, tribes may contract with the state of South Dakota to manage health care for the Native American people here under Medicaid. And with our tribal government status, we can secure 100% FMAP. Federal reimbursement for Native health care under Medicaid. So when we stand together for health care, our Sioux Nation tribes working with the state can bring the strongest health care resources to the table to improve health care for Native Americans and provide a model of patient advocacy for all South Dakotans. Imagine that when a patient is looking for an appointment, the managed care call center helps find the best appointment with the least waiting time. The system promotes efficiency and better health care, and we see it in action with other tribes, including the Cherokee of North Carolina, where they have the best drug and alcohol treatment in the region. If the state legislature would be kind enough to support us in these efforts, that would be very much appreciated, and it will result in increased federal health care resources for our tribes and reduced state budgetary expenditures. Because when the tribes are so engaged, the United States pays 100% FMAP. Justice and law enforcement. Traditionally, our men kept order for the Akichita, but the first public safety came from the hearts of our people. Chief Luther Standing Bear said, It is the mothers that create the destiny of the people. For our mothers taught us to be kind, respectful, and courteous. Mom taught us to be good relatives. Culturally, our Lakota people held our family and our community values close to our hearts. We are working to promote and return to our traditional values through cultural programs for our young people. Yet today, like the rest of America, Indian country suffers from drug and alcohol addiction. When people are addicted to drugs and alcohol, they act out and they commit violence. So we need law and order. As a result, among Native Americans, our homicide rate is 4 times that of a non-Hispanic white. Among our Sioux Nation tribes, we have 1 officer per 1,000 people, while America has 3.5 officers per 1,000 people on average. And at Rosebud, our tribal police have to patrol 1.3 million acres. Our Sioux Nation tribes need more funding for police from the U.S. Justice Department and the Secretary of Interior. We seek congressional enactment of the Tribal Law Enforcement Parity Act, which provides police employee benefits. Our treaty mandates America to protect us from depredation by bad men, and our treaty is still in full force and effect. To honor the state constitution, the state legislature should enact a law to recognize tribal police as law enforcement officers, and the State Tribal Relations Committee has a bill to do just that. We look forward to working with you to improve law enforcement, to get training locally for our police officers, and to improve public safety for all South Dakotans. Agriculture and job creation. Through the SNAP and FDI-PR food distribution program, many of our people who are unemployed and live below the poverty line receive sustenance. When the United States provides such benefits, whether directly to the tribal government or pass-through programs from the state, our Sioux Nation tribes need to be involved in contracting to grow the food so we can earn jobs we need for our people. Senator Rounds has a bill to provide tribal government 638 contracting at USDA. Together, our Sioux Nation tribes are working to restore buffalo as a healthy American food source, and we are working on greenhouses to grow fresh vegetables and groves of traditional fruit trees. When we get our tribal colleges involved, we can develop food prep kitchens to can food for further distribution and create value-added agricultural jobs. Right now, 11 of our great Sioux Nation tribes are working together under a USDA stewardship program to help reduce fire dangers through fuel reduction in the Black Hills. And we plan to partner with the Job Corps to provide tribal youth jobs this summer. In addition, we are looking to restore traditional camps and develop tourism, the mainstay of South Dakota's economy. Speaking of tourism, our Indian gaming generates substantial jobs and the tourism economy. In 2024, the state referendum, the people of South Dakota voted to limit sports betting to Deadwood and Indian casinos. The prediction markets are flouting, and they should be stopped from evading the 2024 state referendum and the Unlawful Internet Gambling Enforcement Act. Water and infrastructure. The vision of the Mini-Wechoni project is to improve the quality of drinking water, improve public health, prosperity, and provide employment opportunities for the region. And Mini-Wechoni serves roughly 12,500 square miles, 1/6 of South Dakota. Mini-Wechoni has been operating for almost 25 years, so it is in need of a system upgrade. Rosebud and our other Sioux Nation tribes, including Lower Brule, Crow Creek, Cheyenne River, Sisseton, Wahpeton, Oyate, and Yankton, need upgraded water infrastructure facilities. As the state legislature plans for water system improvements, we ask that you stay in touch with the Sioux Nation tribes because we have senior water rights in the Missouri River Basin, and we are active water system operators. We would expect that just as Senator Hoeven is promoting the Dakota Rural Water Act Amendment of 2026, Senator Thune and Senator Rounds will be promoting water legislation for South Dakota, including feasibility studies for the new improvements. We also need help with upgrading our South Dakota Great Lakes dams infrastructure. In South Dakota, our Sioux Nation tribes have significant wind and solar resources, and as the electrical grid is updated and improved, we will seek better access to the grid for tribal government operators. We would appreciate your assistance as we seek to build new electricity projects. Rosebud has recently joined the State Transportation Department Weather Alert System, and we seek to promote traffic safety for all who traverse our roads. We appreciate the opportunity to engage in state transportation programs, and will seek active consultation with you all on this important transportation issue. Reservation roads are dangerous, and we have a high rate of road departure accidents that can be addressed through better engineering and safety features. Conclusion, as Sitting Bull said, we must all put our minds together to see how we can make a better life for our children. As elected leaders, we must take this opportunity to lead state-tribal relations in a positive manner through increased consultation, mutual respect, and consideration of mutually beneficial solutions to our shared concerns. Wopila, be good.